And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk, where we talk all things Brevard College athletics. We're typically here on Monday nights, but after a baseball doubleheader yesterday, we're having this program on a Tuesday evening, and glad you're able to join us for this special edition of Tornado Talk. We're going to talk a lot of baseball, also a lot of tennis later in the show. But first, before we do so, want to thank all of our sponsors of Brevard College Athletics: Arby's, Brevard Orthopedics, BSN Sports, Cooper Construction, eGolf Ford of Brevard, Hampton Inn, Ingles, Jets Pizza, Pepsi, Triangle Stop, and Young Transportation. Thank you, sponsors of Brevard College Athletics. And do want to give you a special programming note, because 1 week from tonight, on Tuesday, April the 27th at 8 p.m., will be the Best Bees Award Show. It'll be in a virtual format, and you'll be able to tune in, whether it's on Facebook Live, on Twitter, or on YouTube, and see all the award winners from this past season across Brevard College Tornado Athletics. So hope you're able to join us. It's going to be a special event, a lot of student athlete involvement, and just a lot of recognition of all the excellence this past year. Well, do want to catch you up since we saw you last. There was a lot of action, as always, this time of year with Brevard College Athletics. First, women's tennis with a big 8-1 win over Agnes Scott on Senior Day. Mekenzie, Bowman, Margaret Carrell, and Jen Cox honored in a pre-match ceremony. We'll be talking to those student athletes along with Coach Brad Jones later in the program. Women's lacrosse had its season finale, a 17-7 defeat at Piedmont. Ashton Cashwell and Savannah Colliver, each with 2 goals to lead the Tornadoes. Also, big days from Casey Collins, Autumn Kramer, and Parker Moore. Softball, a doubleheader sweep on Senior Day over LaGrange. Just an exceptional performance on Sunday at the BC softball field. Brittany Franks, Allie Grace Hartman, Michaela McCoy, and Emily White all honored. And the Tornadoes with 2 big wins. They've got a busy week ahead. We were hoping to talk to the softball team this evening, but so much going on with some schedule adjustments and so forth that they're busy preparing for a game in a week that starts with a game at Agnes Scott tomorrow. Men's soccer, BC 8, USC Union 0. The Brevard College men's soccer team, USA South Conference West Division champions. They honored their 4 seniors: Marquise Dickerson, Jose Fish Sanchez, Adam Spencer, and JP Swarty, in a halftime ceremony. An 8-0 win where 4 of those seniors end up scoring goals. And that brings us to baseball, because an unusual Monday doubleheader matinee and an exceptional win in game 1 of the doubleheader. Brevard 4, Piedmont 2. And we're going to tell you all about it with these 2 guests, familiar faces to Tornado Talk: head coach Mike Victory, along with assistant coach Rob Julian. We'll start with you, Coach Victory. Yesterday, unusual circumstances all the way around, a Monday matinee that we don't see too often in college baseball. The Tornadoes shorthanded as far as a lot of the regulars being out, and then come up with just an exceptional win in game 1, 4-2 over Piedmont. Now that you've had over 24 hours to digest it, Coach, overall impressions of that impressive win?
Yeah, I'm still blown away at the drive and the resolve of our guys. It was definitely, we knew it was going to be an uphill battle going into that day with 6 regular hitters out and 2 of our conference starters on the mound out. So guys playing out of position. Huntley Hacker getting to play first base and having the first at bats of his career, and Jock Pledger coming off football season and getting all those interceptions. Now playing DH. It was definitely a different kind of day, one you don't usually get to have, but COVID offers you a lot of different opportunities, and they battled right from the get-go, unafraid of one of the best pitchers in the country. Jumped right out on top of him, and then Sanders was able to cruise, and we kind of were able to stick to our plan pitching wise, and our guys got it done.
Yeah, Nathan Sanders, just an exceptional performance, and Coach Julian, also the pitching coach for these Tornadoes. Sanders, a career high 11 strikeouts, just mowing down the Piedmont batters in those first few innings in particular. Now that you've had a chance to digest Sanders' performance, tell us more.
I mean, it almost became a point where it was surreal. I think he got the first 8 outs via strikeout, and you don't really see that too often. Nate's a competitor. Nate's a dog. He's a gritty guy. And I mean, being around him now for almost 2 years, I can say that's the best I've ever seen him look. And we told him that. And he works incredibly hard. So we don't really expect anything different when it comes to Nate. Those are things that we know that he can go out and do. It just kind of became him trying to put it all together. And yesterday, he put it all together.
Yeah, and Coach Victory, want to talk even further about that Sanders performance because, like you said, going up against one of the top pitchers in the country, a defense behind him that's not necessarily, the regular guys he might be used to, and able to deliver just in the biggest of fashion.
Absolutely. We talk about being ready for your moment, and that was a big one for Nate. I know he always wants the ball at the beginning of the game, but he's been helping us a lot out of the bullpen this year, and because of those circumstances, getting to go out there and just knowing he had to chuck. And I think he gave us a lot of confidence, all around. When your guy's throwing like that, it makes your day easier at the plate. It makes you more comfortable in the field because, hey, he's going to pick us up, and we get more than half of our outs via the strikeout. It takes a little bit out of the guys who are playing out of position. They're more comfortable when they do get that ball coming to them. And he stepped up in a big way for the team and did exactly what we needed him to do.
11 strikeouts, just a remarkable performance, allowing just one hit, Nathan Sanders. And, the 2 runs he allowed, both unearned as well. Coach Julian, Coach Victory mentioned Huntley Hacker, and do want to, do a hat tip to Huntley because he did win earlier this year, D3Baseball.com Team of the Week award. So a big national honoree. And then yesterday, playing first base, but also then coming in and finishing off that win and earning the save. Tell us even more, perhaps things we might not know about Huntley Hacker.
Yeah, Coach and I were talking about it whenever everything was going on, about who we were going to, throw over there. And it kind of came down to, we knew Norm could just go do it. He hadn't played, the infield in 5 years. He hadn't had an at-bat in 5 years. But I said before the game, and I didn't mean it, maliciously by any means, but I go, Norm, like, you're just dumb enough to go do this. You're not going to think about it too much. The moment's never going to be too big. You're just going to go out and do it. And he's living every pitcher's dream. He gets to play the field and hit for the day. And, obviously, he got a hit, and that's awesome. And then being able to, come in the game is even, a little bit more impressive because the inning he went and warmed up, he was up like 5th that inning. So he went down, threw a couple pitches and then had to come and be on deck. I'll go on the record and say this. I don't know. I don't really care what the numbers say in the conference, who has more innings, who has more saves, whatever. Norman Hacker's the best relief pitcher in the USA South. And I don't think it's close. And I told him that after game 1. He's a guy that we can give the ball to at ends of games and know that it's over with. And like I said, I don't care what the numbers say. I just see what I see, and there's not a relief pitcher in our conference better than him.
Well said, Coach. Coach Victory, we've talked about Hacker and him in that first base position and, picking up the bat as well. But tell us about some of the other guys, across the doubleheader who were able to, step up and see some playing time and play some significant roles.
Yeah, Zack Wolf's a guy that's all heart and knows the game really well. Him and I have a lot of conversations in the dugout, and I know I can trust him to play defense, and he did just that at second base. Mason Metcalf is one of our more local guys too, just like Zach. Looking for his opportunity, but we got some guys in the field that have done really well, and he comes in there and again left-handed bat against one of the best left-handed pitchers in the country, and he battled his way and got his first collegiate hit and, made a tough play for us. Third base is a little bit of an adventure sometimes at our home field. And, he got a tough hop and made a really nice throw and played it like he'd been doing it his whole life, which was big. And, We always go, again, we think our outfield is phenomenal. And, we had two of our guys out there that normally are out there every single day. And then another, local product, Micah Johnson, gets thrown in the game in the 7th after Jack Atkinson, starting center field, has to go to first base because Norman Hacker's coming in to close, and ball gets hit right at Micah. And, never in doubt that he was going to make a play for us out there. And I think, that's the big thing. Those guys, we never doubted that they were going to be ready when that ball came to them. And you could see that confidence in them the whole way, which was big.
In Coach Victory, Game 2 did not go the way the Tornadoes wanted, a 9-2 win for Piedmont. However, even more action for some guys, several collegiate debuts for several Tornadoes. Yeah.
You said it wasn't perfect. That's when you kind of see some of our pitchers coming out of the quarantine phase, and we're just not as sharp as they needed to be. And again, Piedmont's a really good team. They can hit, and they put bat on ball and made things happen. But we got some guys in at the end, and Jimmy Moore, another local kid, got his first hit. He's a kid that's always working for us, and does the scoreboard for you a lot. But he earned that opportunity to get in that game, and I know that was a big moment for him. And we got a lot of guys in towards the end of the game that are always working. They're one of the guys on our team that are doing everything right. But with the depth on our team, they're not always getting all those chances. So it's good to be able to get them that. And our guys were really happy for him. We talked about it again at the end of the game. Mudita, that vicarious joy for other success, is a big part of our program. And even though we were losing that game, and again, it was tough circumstances, our guys were super excited for those guys to get those first hits. It was 3 first collegiate hits and 2 other guys that came really, really close to getting those first hits. His ball just didn't drop. And, I think people see that depth that we have, and that's going to make us scary as those guys get older.
And Coach Julian, on the pitching side of things, some of the young pitchers getting some innings in, some work in.
Yeah, it was like Coach said, obviously not the result that we wanted Game 2. But for those guys to get that experience and get in and get some action is always awesome. It's never easy to come into a game, down 8-2. You never really want to be in that spot, but those guys, I think, took that and ran with it and did what they had to do and threw well enough to warrant getting some more opportunities as the year progresses.
Coach Victory, the home stretch of the season has creeped up on us pretty quickly here. 3 games at LaGrange this weekend, a doubleheader versus Covenant, which was rescheduled from earlier in the season. That'll be on Tuesday, the 27th at Gil Cohen Field. And then the season finale, 3 games versus Huntington. What's your message to the team as we head down this home stretch?
We came out of yesterday where we still wanted to be, and I was in the top half of the conference. And, that's what's continuing to be exciting for these guys, is that, even though we're outside of the playoff picture right now, that it's still very much an attainable goal. And it's going to be guys kind of working their way back in, coming out of quarantine, but everyone's excited for where we're at, and we're going to keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. And, we're going to play as deep as we possibly can. And that's one game at a time for sure, but they know there's a goal in sight. It's really realistic. And these guys are super excited to push themselves to see how far we can take it. And that's, it's a simple message. They haven't had those opportunities to play in the playoffs. They've seen how exciting it is for the soccer teams to be able to play for something a little bit more meaningful. And they want their opportunity to do that exact same thing. It's going to be fun to try to chase that down while softball's trying to chase it down at the same time. And I think it's going to 2 teams that support each other really, really well. And with a lot of games in a short amount of time, the more voices that are cheering each other on, the bigger it can be. So it's exciting to do that with our sister sport.
All right. Well, stick with us just a couple moments more here, Coach. We're going to bring in our 2 student athlete guests and 2 of the top performers from yesterday, joined now by Nathan Sanders and Jack Atkinson. Coach Julian, we'll let you have the first word here. Tell our audience more about these 2.
First off, Jack looks like an airplane pilot right now with that headset on. So that's a good look. But in all seriousness, these are 2 guys that work incredibly hard. We talked about Nate earlier, being a grinder and getting in there and doing the right things. Jack's the same way. He hasn't always, I don't know if the word confident is the right word, but he hasn't always been the player that he is now. He'll do some things now that he doesn't even realize he does. The one I talk about all the time is at Averett, whenever he, stole second base. And before he stole second base, he kind of just looked at me and smiled. And that just shows you how much fun, not just him, but all these guys are having now. And I don't know if that was the case, a couple years ago. So it's awesome to, see not just these two, but the whole team in general, continuing to, get better and enjoy baseball. I think I put it on Twitter yesterday that there isn't another group of guys in the country that I'd rather go to war with every day. And these are two, big parts of that. And you're going to have a pleasure, talking to them both.
Very good. Appreciate that. Coach Rob Julian, assistant coach and pitching coach for the Brevard College Tornadoes. Coach Victory, help us introduce these two student athletes.
Well, Sanders doesn't need much introduction after 11 strikeouts yesterday. That'll get you a lot of pictures and a lot of accolades right away. And the hard work paid off for him. And Jack did little things right. I don't think he hit a ball more than 100 combined feet in 3 at-bats, but got a bunt for hit down and everything that he's been working on there. Finally got a sacrifice bunt down for us, stole a base, and it was big. It's those little things that make a difference when you're grinding out close wins, and he's a big example for that. And they're both guys that ask a lot of questions. They always want to know more and grow within the game. And now that they're getting to be into that upperclassman range, they've stopped asking questions because they've learned it. They don't have to ask, do I need to steal or can I do this? They know I'm confident enough in myself to do it, and they're an example for younger guys and the guys that are coming in next year.
Very good. Head coach Mike Victory, assistant coach Rob Julian. Gentlemen, thanks for joining Tornado Talk. Best of luck this weekend at LaGrange, and congrats again on just an exceptional win yesterday in game 1 of that doubleheader versus Piedmont.
Thanks, Phil. Always a pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it, Phil. Thank you.
All right. There they go. Head coach Mike Victory and Rob Julian. Appreciate the coaches joining us. And join now. You heard the coaches help us introduce these two, but Jack Atkinson, the junior outfielder from Piedmont, South Carolina, Wren High School. Jack, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me, Phil.
And also with us, Nathan Sanders, coming off that big performance yesterday, the 11 strikeout, 1 hitter in the win over Piedmont, the sophomore right-handed pitcher from Franklin, North Carolina, Franklin High School. Nathan, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. Well, I know how it goes with you guys. You guys can get on the humble side. So I want to start with this. Jack, if you can get us started, and you backed this guy up defensively out there in center field, and you witnessed the 11 strikeout performance. Tell us even more. What just happened yesterday with Nathan Sanders?
Me personally, I've been here since Nate's been here, actually a year before he got here, and that's the best I've ever seen him pitch. In the outfield, got a little boring because, he struck out 11 guys, and I don't think somebody hit a ball to the outfield. I was talking to their outfielders, and I didn't even get 1 ball that game he pitched. So, it's fun, though. Like, I've never seen him pitch like that, and it was incredible for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was a lot of fun to witness that. And Nathan, tell us about Jack Atkinson and what makes him such a dependable teammate when he's out there in center field for you.
What makes Jack really dependable is that any ball hit to him, he's willing to give up his body and sacrifice himself to make any play out there. And I have the confidence that any ball hit out in the left center gap or the right center gap when I'm pitching, or even back to the warning track, that Jack's got the ability to track that ball down and bring it back in for us.
All right, now I want you to talk about yourself a little bit, Nathan. 11 strikeout performance, the 6 innings pitched, the victory, the only 2 runs you allowed were unearned. Just a remarkable performance against a very tough Piedmont squad. Can you tell us, how that transpired for you personally on the mound, and were you feeling it at a different level? Tell us more.
Well, I was warming up in the bullpen before the game, and catcher Christian Azell came up and said, "Hey, I think these guys, you need to leave the ball down in the zone more and don't try and work them up with that fastball. Don't try and blow anything by them. Just hit your spots, learn the zone, and just let them hit into ground outs." And I said, all right, that's what I'll do. And so I was hoping that they'd, roll over into ground balls, but they just kept swinging and missing. And I was happy with the end product, but whatever I can do to help the team win, I'll do and put them in the position to do it. And if that's let every ball hit the Jack in center field, I'll let that happen too.
And in order to get the win, Jack Atkinson, the Tornado Bats had to do their work as well, and facing off against, one of the best pitchers statistically in the nation, and you guys got it done. We're able to tally 4 runs to, give Nathan Sanders and Huntley Hacker the run support they needed. Can you talk about the offensive performance, Jack?
So, I mean, the biggest thing is Coach Huckey always talks with us is start hot, stay hot. And when we came out, and I think Jason led off the game with an error, and I mean, he hustled his butt down, and the next thing you know, hit, and we're up 3-0 in the first inning. And then with Nate pitching like he did, it was just kind of incredible. And I think we scored 1 more in the 3rd or 4th inning, which gave us that extra cushion for Nate and Huntley to actually get it done.
Yeah, and Jack, your game personally, 2 for 2, 2 runs scored. The coaches mentioned the sack bunt you laid down, all the little things. Can you talk about your personal experience that game?
Like Coach Victory said, I don't think I hit a ball out of the infield grass, but it shows that you don't really need to do that to be successful. And bunting this year has been kind of a struggle for me. So to get those 2 bunts down was really big for me. And then also stealing that base, I had him perfectly timed up, and I know Coach Julian talks about I just look at him and smile, and he knows I got it. And I think I did it again, so it's kind of funny again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Nathan, you handed the ball to Huntley Hacker, who, as Coach Julian mentioned, arguably, one of the top closers, not only in the conference, but maybe nationally. He got some national honors earlier this year, and Huntley Hacker gets it done, and he moved over from first base, to the pitching mound to get this save. Tell us more about Huntley and, just how much confidence you have when he's there to close it for you.
Oh, when Huntley goes in the game, just like he did last weekend at Maryville and like he did yesterday, you feel like he's got it. You always feel like he's in control. He's one of the most calm pitchers I've ever seen on the mound, and he can step up and put the ball where he wants it and let them hit in the play for the out or strike him out. It's whatever he wants to do. I think he can do it, and he's got the confidence to go out there and do that every time.
And Jack, we talked about it with the coaches some, but, because of several players, several regulars, starters being unavailable, a lot of guys in different roles this game, including Huntley at first base and guys having their collegiate debut and that sort of thing. Can you tell us, just how meaningful that was, for the squad altogether, that there were that many contributors?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The guys that don't get to see the field that much really stepped up. I know Zack Wolf, Mason Metcalf had big days defensively and hitting. Mason made a play towards the later half of that first game, and then Huntley ended up picking it, and it was just wow, those guys still have it too. And I don't know, it's just incredible that we could still put it all together, even with 17 guys. So
yeah, no doubt about it. Really well done as far as guys stepping up, and not a lot of practice time heading into this game either. And you guys really got it done. So congrats again, just an exceptional win. Well, Nathan, tell us even more about yourself on the personal side. Would love to know your journey coming from Franklin, North Carolina. Tell us how you found Brevard College, or Brevard found you.
Well, back in high school, I'd pass Brevard College every time we came to play Brevard High School, and I never really thought about it as to come play baseball here. And another teammate, Hayden Price, who I played high school baseball with, came here, and I asked him about it and talked to him about Brevard, and he said he was liking it and liked the team and the guys. So I decided to come over here and check it out, and it turned out to be the place for me. I love it here.
Very good. Well, we're glad you ended up becoming a Tornado, no doubt about that. And Jack, same question for you. I know we've had you on the show before, but I don't know if I've asked you that particular question. Tell us exactly how you became a Tornado.
Yeah, so some of my family friends lived up here, and so me and my mom, my brother came up one time, and I just saw the school and was like, "Huh, what's that?" And then next thing I know, I'm at a camp down in Garner Webb, and Coach McMahon came up to me and introduced himself, and ever since then, I've came to a camp here and just fell in love with the school in the area.
Very good. And Jack, we'll stick with you. The junior. Tell us off the field, academically, what you're working on. Maybe your goals post graduation as well.
So I'm a criminal justice major, and my end goal is to work federally. So I'm gonna probably start at Border Patrol and then move into Homeland Security there.
Outstanding. Appreciate, those sorts of careers. So important, just us all together as a society functioning, with people like that. Nathan, same question for you, sophomore, so still some time to go here and get it all figured out. But what do you have in mind in terms of academics? Have you selected a major, et cetera?
Yeah, I declared my major last year. I'm a history major, and I want to take that to law school, and I'm just trying to think of ways to get into law school and how to go about that. Either through the Army or through applying and getting scholarships. But either way, it seems like the route I'd like to take.
Very good. Well, before we let you go, do you want to give you each the opportunity to thank anyone, give any shout outs, anybody who may have helped you along the way, whether early in your baseball career or, recently? Nathan, we'll start with you. Shout outs or thank yous for us?
Yeah, I'm real thankful that I've had good parents and a good family that have guided me here, and the coaches that I've had, they've helped develop me into the player that I've become, and I wouldn't have been here without any of them.
Very good. And same question for you, Jack Atkinson, the junior from Piedmont, South Carolina. The floor is yours.
I'd like to give thanks to my mom, my brother, my sister, my dad. They've really helped me through all the travel ball and staying in hotels. We've had some good bonding experiences there. So I just would like to give thanks to them for sure.
Very good. Last one before we let you go. There's still work to be done this season. And, I know yesterday was, real feel good kind of day, getting that big win in game one of the doubleheader, but a lot to come beginning this weekend at LaGrange. Nathan, what was the message from coach post game to the team? And, what's the mindset of the team heading into this weekend and beyond?
Well, he talked a lot about how we were down a lot of our starters and that we were able to come out and beat a solid team like Piedmont down and out, and coming from the bottom. A lot of people didn't expect us to win, but he was right there and he had our backs, and each and every one of us, we had each other's backs. And he said, just keep the same energy and the same positive attitude going into LaGrange.
Jack, anything to add there? Big weekend coming up here at LaGrange.
Yeah, I mean, we're not done. We're not out yet. So I think another message to coach was like, nobody really believed that we had a shot at that game, but all 40 of those guys that are on that team and coaches, like, we all knew we had a shot. And when we all get back and we get together, it's going to be dangerous for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Jack Atkinson and Nathan Sanders, two of the stars of yesterday's big win over Piedmont, a 4-2 victory. Jack was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, also laid down a beautiful sacrifice bunt in that win. And Nathan Sanders, 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. That's right, you heard that one right. And 2 runs. They were both unearned and just 1 hit allowed. Huntley Hacker then came in for the save to cap off the win. Jack Atkinson, Nathan Sanders, thanks for joining the program.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
Thank you.
All right, and there they go. And we're going to switch gears very quickly here as we head to the Brevard College tennis program, and we bring in our next guest, head coach Brad Jones, head men's and women's tennis coach at Brevard College. Coach Jones, thanks for joining the show again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on here because this past weekend, a special pre-match ceremony honoring just 3 exceptional seniors, Mekenzie Bowman, Margaret Carrell, and Jen Cox. We would like to, devote a lot of the show this evening to those 3. They've just been so exceptional throughout their careers here at Brevard College. But firstly, if we can just go back to that moment, the ceremony itself, Coach Jones, it had to be meaningful to be able to introduce those 3 seniors.
Yeah, it was, especially not having a senior day last year. So being able to send these 3 student athletes out with, a ceremony, but also a W is very nice. So, yeah, I mean, just the, the hard work and the dedication that they've been through, not only the 4 years that they've been in school, but really just the 2 years that I've been here. It's tough transitioning into a new coach and stuff like that. So just really being able to have them, the parents be there, the support, and their teammates and stuff like that. Also, I think it was pretty fitting that it was just a women's match. The guys was off that weekend, and it was just Agnes Scott. So it was pretty fitting to really just send them out and have a day for their own and stuff.
And as you mentioned, the Tornadoes deliver with the win against Agnes Scott, able to take care of business. Cox and Correll, the two seniors, combined for a doubles win, and they've been playing that number one doubles position most of the year, correct, Coach?
Yeah. Basically every match except maybe a few, but pretty much our number one double spot.
And also taking care of business, senior Mekenzie Bowman and Hamrick Perry in the number two doubles spot. Doubles, such a big part of the college game, and the team got it done on Saturday.
It is. Doubles is really important for Division III tennis because all doubles points count. So going into singles up 2-1, if not 3-0, you carry a lot of momentum into singles, takes a lot of pressure off you, puts it on your opponents. Plus, it's easier to win 2 or 3 singles matches. But yeah, no, I mean, going into doubles, it's really just, it was fitting for them to be able to play together, Margaret and Jen, and be able to have Kenzie in there to play with doubles with Hamrick and stuff like that, which her and Hamrick have played a few times together in practice in some matches and stuff like that. But really just going in there and having a solid day in doubles and being able to go into singles, up 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah, and Correll and Bowman then win in number 2 and number 3 singles, and the Tornadoes able to get the win over Agnes Scott. Well, let's talk about these seniors just a little more, each of them as individuals, and let NATO Nation know just how exceptional each of them are. We'll start with Kenzie Bowman, the senior from Franklin, North Carolina. Coach Jones, tell us what makes her such a valuable member of the team.
She brings a little different style to the game. She, growing up, kind of her tennis game and the way she was taught tennis was kind of a Spanish style. So, she is one of them that can hit with a lot of top spin, hits with some pace. But when she really gets the ball in her strike zone, she can really stroke the ball. So, it was really just kind of with her just being consistent and really hitting a lot of top spin and really trying to find the ball in her strike zone. Like I said, she found the ball in her strike zone, the ball kind of explodes off her strings, off her racket, and really does what she wants it to do.
And Margaret Carrell, the senior from Salisbury, North Carolina. Tell us even more about Margaret.
Yeah, Margaret, I think she hits a flat ball. She hits a mean flat ball. So really for her, just trying to kind of be more 2-3-dimensional in her game rather than just one-dimensional, hitting it flat, trying to develop some shape on the ball, some top spin, also really developing some slice. Because she hits such a flat ball, a lot of those balls do stay low, and if they can stay even lower, then, that'll help her, especially in doubles, being able to come to the net, be aggressive, and end points a lot sooner.
And Jen Cox, the senior from West Islip, New York. Tell us more.
Same thing. I mean, just plays with a lot of power. Really just for her, just letting her trying to buy her time for her to get a softer, shorter ball for her to really attack. Because her forehand, her backhand game is very powerful. So if she can kind of get her feet set and drive the ball, she's tough to beat.
Coach, the men's team not in action this past weekend, and like you said, it was kind of cool that the spotlight was on the women's team, but they'll be back in action along with the women's team this weekend at Pfeiffer. Catch us up on the men's team. What have been some of the highlights this season?
So a lot of it's really just been kind of growing. Like I said, we're a little bit older on the women's side. So on the men's side, it's really just getting court time, getting a lot of sets in, getting a lot of matches, but really just playing different teams, and learning who we are as a player, but also what style we want to play at. Not trying to always play TV tennis or trying to play like Roger Federer or Rafa Nadal. We also, we gotta, we're human, we gotta play our level and within our thresholds. But no, really just growing and having them understand that losing is a good thing. You gotta kind of grow through it to go through it. So, I think a lot of this year was learning how to compete, to play some close matches, to taste it, but not really be able to touch it right yet for some. So going into next year, it's really trying to develop how to close out matches and how to win those close ones when we do have the chance.
Very good, Coach. Well, Coach, stick with us just a couple more moments here. We're going to bring in those 3 seniors from the women's tennis team and allow you to help us in this segue here as the 3 seniors make their way here to Tornado Talk. joined by Margaret Carrell, Jen Cox, and Kenzie Bowman. Coach, before we let you go, I know you had some great words out at the ceremony on Saturday, but one more chance here, publicly to tell NATO Nation just how valuable these three seniors have been to not only the program but to the Brevard College experience.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I tell everybody, I think Division III fits Brevard College to a T. And I think what these ladies bring to the table is exactly what we try to bring as a tennis program and a family. Yes, it's a game and it's a sport and, we want to win. But really what they brought to the table was, a lot of, I think on court, they brought a lot of passion. They brought a lot of leadership, but also they passed down a lot of history from the previous years and also previous coach. So I think that is very good looking forward. I preach about foundation. I preach about bricks. These ladies are our foundation. Even the two seniors last year, they're part of that foundation to really set us up where we want to go because they allow the young ones to be able to have that history. And that's very important. But really, off the court is where they really made their money. And that's something that I preach every day, not only to the women's team, which is very good, but especially to my guys' team, that in order for us to be successful on the tennis court, we got to take care of business off the tennis court and also within the community as well. So these three ladies really did that. And it's, very, made me proud to be a part of Brevard program, to be a part of these ladies, but really kind of excited to see what their future holds. Two of them are staying locally. Jen's going to Wilmington, right across the, state, other part of the state. So just, for them, like I said in the video, being boss ladies in the community, because I think all three of them bring that to the table. And I think that's, and that's what they left behind, that leadership, that voice, and really, learning how to be bold. And that's what we really need as a program. So.
Very good. Well, Coach Jones, we appreciate your leadership in those kind words, and we'll let you go here. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you out at the McCoy Tennis Complex for the matchup versus Pfeiffer. And thanks again for joining the program, Coach Brad Jones.
Thank you. Fingers crossed it's on Saturday. So thank you. See you, ladies.
That's right. Mother Nature always a factor in April, springtime in the mountains, but great to be joined now by the three seniors as we continue this Senior Day celebration. And, the message is starting to come in here as well. We'll start in the top right corner. Margaret Carrell, the senior from Salisbury, North Carolina, a English major with concentrations in journalism and professional communication, a minor in business and organizational leadership, 13 singles wins, 18 doubles wins on the court. Margaret, thanks for joining the program.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's a lot of fun to be able to continue this celebration with you three. Next up, Jen Cox, a senior from West Islip, New York, majoring in art, concentration in photography and time-based media, minor in business and organizational leadership as well. 11 singles wins, 21 double victories in her BC career. Jen, thanks for joining the program.
Thank you for having me.
And Mekenzie Bowman, the senior from Franklin, North Carolina, majoring in psychology, double minor in criminal justice and education, 9 singles wins, 10 doubles victories in her BC career on the court. Kenzie Bowman, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you.
All right, Mekenzie, well, let's stick with you. A, meaningful moment on Saturday, right? Ceremony, it kind of probably all sort of hit you at once. Now that you've had a couple of days to sort of, reflect, special moment on Saturday, I'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It was hard, but it was nice.
Yeah. And same question for you, Jen. Are you able to sort of put it into words, what that ceremony meant and, also just what it means to, be a graduating senior tennis student athlete?
It's crazy just to think that we're all seniors now. We were all talking about that before the match and even throughout the whole season. We were like, wait, we're seniors now. And I think it finally hit at the Senior Day match during the ceremony. It was like, wow, this is really happening.
Margaret, I see you nodding your head and smiling as Jen describes that. Similar feelings?
Yeah, it honestly seems like we just showed up on the first day of practice freshman year, and now, here we are approaching our very last match of our senior season. It's a little bittersweet. Like, I'm glad I could experience that with, Jen and Kenzie, but, I wish there was more time. But I'm excited for everything that's going to come for us.
And Margaret, we'll stick with you for this next one. Tennis is such an unusual sport because it's, in so many ways an individual sport. However, on the college level, it takes on this team dynamic. If you can just kind of do your best to sum up what it's like to be a college tennis student athlete.
I think it's really rewarding. I think we have a chance, as a team, being taught by the same coach and practicing together, we have a unique chance to learn and grow with each other, not just as a women's team, but also the men's and women's team. We have a chance, bond, which I don't think a lot of other teams have that chance because they do practice separately and do things separately. So I think that's one thing that I think is a highlight of being on the women's tennis team, is just being able to have that relationship with both genders, I guess, both teams, Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. Jen, tell us more about that team dynamic. I know you guys have had a lot of chances to bond, with these road trips and so forth.
Yeah, so with the road trips for this year, it's been a little bit different because of COVID and everything. And we have to stay in the hotels, but it's fun because you get to bond with that group in that hotel room. And then you also have the bus rides, and some of them, like the ride to Alabama is 6 hours long. So there's people that are either constantly up the whole time. I'm one of those. I can't fall asleep on the bus. And then there's people watching movies together, and it's just a fun dynamic. I think everybody just gets along really well. And it's, like Margaret said, it's unique. I don't think any other team really has something that's like this.
Mekenzie, Bowman, tell us more about this team bonding. Are there any, memories that pop into your head as far as, special moments over the years?
We got asked the same question whenever the other day for our senior presentation. The first thing I thought of was I don't remember if it was my freshman or sophomore year, but we all went to Rod Run and Pigeon Forge for the weekend together. And it was just, we are able to be together and do these things together. And I don't think a lot of teams are really able to do that because there's so many on other teams. And having a small but larger team, you have several different personalities that just click, and it's fun to be able to make these connections with each other and form different memories.
Jen Cox and Margaret Carrell, I want to give you the same opportunity. Favorite moment, perhaps a funny moment over the years. Is there something you can share with our audience, Jen?
I'd say either spring break. It was a really good memory for us. Because we went down to Florida last year right before the whole pandemic, but then on weekends and stuff, we would all hang out as a team in the villages and stuff. My freshman and sophomore year, it was we'd be over there every weekend, and we would just bond as a team, and it was just really fun.
Favorite memory, a funny memory, perhaps, Margaret?
I'm going to have to go off what Jen said. Any away match, spring break, Rod Run, our freshman year, any, get together that we had as a team. Yeah, I think those are the most memorable. We had so much fun doing it. And I kind of miss it sometimes. I reminisce often about it, honestly.
Well, Coach Jones mentioned, the excellence off the court by all three of you, and would like to let our audience know even more, what your plans are, post-graduation, what you've been working on mainly during this your, senior year academically, and just tell us, what your ambitions are career-wise. Margaret, we'll start with you.
Well, I have been hired at a local company, Sylvan Sport, right down the road. They are a camping company. I got it relatively recently, but I plan to work in their marketing department. It's going to stay local, so I'm excited about that.
Outstanding. And tell us more about your academics in particular, Margaret. What has been your focus while you're here at Brevard College?
Well, up until recently, I've been doing the Clarion. That's been a real focus for me because I'm editor in chief. My senior project, where I'm writing about, I'm doing like interviews about college during COVID. I'll be presenting that next week. Yeah, just a lot of grind work right now. Yeah, at least recently.
Jen Cox, same question for you. Tell us what you've been up to academically and also what you have planned post-graduation.
So for post-graduation, I'm planning on moving to Wilmington. I have a job interview set up for tomorrow, so that's exciting. It's one of my first ones, just in the process of trying to find a job right now. So I'm trying to look at photo studios and stuff like that, or marketing with different companies. And then basically this semester I worked a lot on my senior project. It was a gallery opening, and it opened up April 2nd, I want to say, and it's still going. So that was like my biggest thing for this year, was just trying to get all the work done for the gallery.
Can you tell us more specifically about that art installment?
Yeah. So I wanted to show our relationship with nature and how we as humans interact with nature and how we have the same characteristics as nature. So I chose to represent different elements and show how they work together, and to show that we as humans can also work together on these basic levels. And yeah, it's up until I want to say Friday, either this Friday or next Friday. I'm not 100% sure, but there's some really good art in there. We were working hard all semester to get all that stuff in there. I'm really proud of all the art seniors.
Yeah, congrats on that. I was able to see some of it across social media, and it really looked fascinating. In these times of the COVID-19 pandemic, it told a lot of stories on that front. And good luck tomorrow, Jen, and beyond. With your interview process. Mekenzie, Bowman, same question for you. Plans post graduation?
So I plan to stay local in Brevard, and over the past semester or past year, I've done an internship at the Transylvania County Department of Social Service, and I plan to continue doing that as a CPS social worker. I can't get hired until after I graduate, but the department knows me well, and so I put in for a job there, and it's still in the process.
And you'll be graduating with a psychology degree. Can you tell folks a little bit about, what it's like to be a psychology major at Brevard College?
Yeah, so there's not many of us. I think this year is one of the biggest psych classes, I think. I'm not sure. I'm 99% sure, but there's not many of us, and so it's nice to be able to have connections with each individual and have such close connections with our professors. I know Dr. Boucher has been one of the best people to help me through my college career, because without her, I've talked to several people who, have trouble with their advisors and such, but she's always kept me right on track. And to be able to have someone who cares so much about us as much as we care about the department is really important.
Very good. Just a couple more before we let the three seniors go here. Mekenzie, Bowman, we'll stick with you on this next one. There's a young roster, a promising young roster at Brevard College men's and women's tennis. Now that you're sort of officially passing the baton to them, what would be your message to the young players to make sure they keep the legacy going?
Really, to have fun. There were times when I really just felt like giving up, and it wasn't easy, and that I've come across rocky roads with tennis, but giving up was not in the books, and I'm so glad it wasn't. But just to really not give up even when it gets really hard, and to let that be their outlet for everything in life, because not many people make it to be a college athlete, and one day you're going to look back and it's going to be awesome to look at, your nieces or nephew, your kids, and be like, yeah, I played a college sport. And that's what I hold on to regularly. I'm like, not many people get this opportunity, and it's a really special opportunity.
Same opportunity for you, Jen Cox. Message to the younger players?
I'd say take it seriously, but also have fun with it. Because like Kenzie said, it's not everybody has this opportunity. We've been playing for 4 years. I feel like we didn't take it in as much as we could have. Because I feel like we were just like watching, like we were just constantly waiting for the next match or like waiting for the next time we were all going to be playing. And I feel like they should just like take it in and just like hold on to it for a little bit longer, because it's kind of bittersweet when you get to the end.
Well said. Margaret?
Definitely live in the moment. Like Kenzie and Jen have both said, there's going to be a time, and it hasn't really hit me personally yet. I guess it might after Saturday, that, we're not going to be doing this anymore. This is it, and definitely live in the moment and have fun when you're out on the court, because once you graduate, you can't really say that you're a student athlete anymore. And, bittersweet, like Jen said.
Okay, last one. I've given each of you this opportunity in the past, but now this is the definitive shout out, thank you moment for each of you now that, you're graduating seniors. Margaret, we'll start with you. The floor is yours. Go as long as you like. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out, a thank you, someone who, may have helped you along the way.
My family, obviously, they've helped me through tough times with school and with tennis. Also Jen and Kenzie's family, they've been like second families. We always refer to each other's parents as like mom and dad, so they've been here for me throughout the 4 years of being on the tennis team. Definitely the team as well, and Coach Brad and former Coach Evans, they've been there for us and they've helped us through the multiple seasons, and I can't thank all of them enough.
Very good, Margaret. Well said. Jen Cox, shout outs, thank yous.
I would definitely like to say thank you to my mom and dad, because they've supported me through everything and anything with tennis and school. Margaret and Kenzie and their families, they've stuck with me through everything for these last 4 years. I don't think I would have been able to do it without specifically these two. Coach Brad, Coach Evan, my coach from back home, Amy, she has like helped me throughout like in between seasons and stuff like that. It's been really fun, but it's kind of like, I'm not really sure. All the professors, feel like there's a lot of people that like I need to thank, but I'm not really sure who to thank specifically.
No problem. You got a lot of them in right there, Jed, and appreciate all those sentiments. Mekenzie, Bowman, same opportunity for you. Shout outs, thank yous.
Yeah, I want to say the same as Jen. There's a lot of people I feel like I need to thank. But mainly, my parents, they have been my greatest support. They've came to any match they can. I couldn't have done this without Jen or Margaret. They have been my rock through all of this. It's always been us. Like, we've always had each other, and their families, like Margaret said, that's our mom and dads. It's all of us. We're all in it together. And the teams over the years, the different people that have came in and out, my professors and my friends have always came out and supported me and been there. And I also want to say thank you to my high school coach, Heather, because without her, I wouldn't even play tennis. So, shout out to her for that. But yeah.
Very good. Margaret Carrell, Jen Cox, and Mekenzie Bowman, the three seniors from the women's tennis team. Congratulations, ladies. It's been a lot of fun to cover you over the years as well. And, can't wait to see you one last time this weekend versus Pfeiffer, and also to, follow your journeys as soon-to-be alumni of Brevard College. So congratulations again. Stick with us just a couple moments here as we wrap up this edition of Tornado Talk. Up next, softball will be at Agnes Scott tomorrow, a Wednesday in Decatur, Georgia, and then a doubleheader at Maryville on Friday. Saturday, the schedule is as follows: 1 p.m. at the McCoy Tennis Complex, weather permitting, men's and women's tennis versus Pfeiffer. Hopefully we'll be able to get that in on Saturday. Then baseball is at LaGrange at 7 p.m. on Saturday evening. Softball, a doubleheader at home. This was a new addition to the schedule on Sunday. That's at noon and 2 p.m. at the BC softball field. we'll bring you that action on the YouTube channel. Also, Sunday, April the 25th, baseball finishes up that series at LaGrange with a doubleheader. Want to thank everyone who made tonight's show possible, our guests from both the baseball and women's tennis program. And want to thank you, the audience, for joining us another edition of Tornado Talk. Be sure to follow the Tornadoes on social media at BC Tornadoes on Instagram and Twitter. And be sure to like and follow the Facebook and YouTube pages, Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Thanks again for joining the show. And congratulations again to these three seniors from the women's tennis team.